What's up guys, Styler here with another guide for you, and this is going to be a rare mount guide on the Onyxian Drake, and this is quite an uncommon mount, so this is definitely one that you'll want to go for. Now this is going to be a solo guide for Rep Paladin, but hopefully there'll be tips and tricks here that will help you get it regardless of class and spec. So we're going to go to Onyxia's Lair, which can be found within Dustwallow Marsh, and we're going to put it onto 10 man difficulty because 10 man and 25 man won't affect the drop. So you'll still have a chance of getting it on 10 and 25 man. Now, the drop's down as being a 0.5% drop on Wowhead, so that's quite low. It's going to be quite a hard mount to get in general. So now that it's on 10 man difficulty, you do need to be in a raid group, so get a friend to just get you in a raid group and you'll be able to get access. So as I said, we're going to be doing this as a solo run as Rep Paladin, and this is quite a difficult challenge. Don't underestimate it at any point. It is still a level 80 raid, so it's going to be difficult. Now the trash I do underestimate the first time around and pull more than one at a time, which gets me killed. So the second time around we're going to take it a little bit more careful and only pull one at a time. I have gone for the Word of Glory spec, which means I have the talent that reduces the cooldown of Word of Glory down to a 10 second instead of 20 second, and I'm pretty much using that off cooldown just to keep myself always topped up. Now, one thing to remember is these mobs are CCable, so you're able to use a stun on them, and if you have a stun, I would definitely recommend using that on them, as it's just going to make the whole process a lot easier. They do have this stacking buff, which will reduce fire resist as well, so if you are using fire resist to help you here, wait till the debuff's gone, and then pull the next pack. Now these are apparently skippable, or the second two are skippable, but I've never really been able to, and it just ends up being a hassle. If you do wipe, you have to skip them again. So we're just going to get them out of the way so they're not there anymore and we don't have to worry about them. Now the mob behind this one is completely skippable, you don't need to worry about that at all, it doesn't even move, so as long as you don't go too close to it, it's fine, it's out of the way. So now we're on to Onyxia, and this is a challenge, this is really a difficult challenge. So she's going to have 3 phases. And in the first phase I pop everything. I'm using Guardian, I'm using Wings, I'm using Zealotry, just so I can get her out of this phase as soon as possible. I am using Word of Glory off cooldown though, just to always keep myself up. And I do derp there and position up wrongly, which gets me knocked into the whelps, which doesn't help things at all. It's a lot of damage that I don't need. But luckily I get her into the transition, so she flies away. If that would have been any earlier, that probably would have been a wipe. So she does transition around 70%, and then once she transitions, she'll fly into the air, and she'll start summoning these like packs of whelps. There'll be 1 pack from either side. Just group these up and AoE them down using Divine Storm and keeping yourself alive with Word of Glory. I'd also recommend keeping Inquisition up as it's extra AoE damage. There'll also these guards who will come from the entrance, so I'd prioritise them as a focus once they come. And she'll also do this deep breath, which will cover a line of the floor in fire. Now this is easily avoidable if you stay to sort of one area of the room, like hug the wall, and as long as you're away from where it's going to be cast, then you won't be hit. And she'll keep summoning these packs of whelps and also the guards throughout the phase 2 until you get her into phase 3, and the way you do that is by getting her to a certain percentage. So what we're going to be doing, as we're not really a range, well, we don't really have much range, we're going to be making use of our Exorcism procs on Onyxia, using Judgment on her on cooldown, hopefully getting some Lucky Tentacle procs like I did there, and also using Avenging Wrath off cooldown to get some extra Hammer of Wraths on her just to help bring her down. Now I think it's around 30 or 25% she'll move into the final phase, so you just have to keep at it until that point, like AoEing down the whelps, and getting off any damaging abilities on her you can throughout the fight. Now this part's quite safe, to be honest. There's never really a part where I feel I'm pressured or under threat. I do have to waste Lay on Hands before, as you see when I got knocked into whelps, which isn't really good, as Lay on Hands is really useful later on, but it doesn't end up being too much of a problem as you see in this. So making use of Avenging Wrath off cooldown and Judgments and things like that, you'll get through this as quick as possible. Now, I'd see this being easier for tank classes such as Prop Paladins, Blood DKs, just because the damage side of things won't be an issue anymore. You'll be able to get through it a lot easier. Some range classes might struggle, but maybe a Hunter could do this quite easily, maybe a Lock. I could see Shadow Priest possibly struggling with this. And classes with very little range are really going to struggle with this fight. So once we get into the final phase, around 30 or 25%, she'll land again. Any ads that are up, you'll need to finish them off, but you won't summon it anymore. She'll fear you, and she'll also cause like the cracks in the ground to spew lava, which will damage you. Now the difficult part there is you need to make sure you're topped up for the fears, otherwise you'll die. But we get her down, and then we kill her. No mount drop though. Now I'm just quickly showing you my talents and spec and stuff, just to kind of help you out there. And as I said, this would be a lot easier as a group, because you're going to have someone like, if you go as a DPS healer, as long as you keep your healer alive, then you'll be fine. And this is one of my attempts where I lagged out and died, which was horrible. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this guide's helped you out. Look out for more guides coming soon. See ya!